something more vicious. Number 2. Allen Sullivan House is a relic from Cleveland's historical background. Built in 1887, it was the home of Richard N. Allen, the man who invented the paper car wheel, credited with improving passenger travel in the latter half of the 1800s. It was located in what was known as Millionaire Row, an area where the city's elite resided. This included John D. Rockefeller, the famous American entrepreneur and founder of Standard Oil. The home passed from various members of the city's upper class until 1923, when it was sold for alternate use. From there, it was passed from organization to organization until it was abandoned in the 1990s. Bad luck struck there early, when only 3 years after its completion, Allen passed away suddenly in the home, leaving his wife Susan as the owner for 8 years until she moved away. The home was then sold to Jeremiah Sullivan, who too would pass away in the home in 1923. Urbex Hill is an urban explorer joining YouTube in September 2013. In January 2021, he decided to explore the Allen Sullivan House due to its history and frankly cool architecture style. The first thing of note when Hill enters the house is how bare it is. Aside from a couple of chairs in the front entrance and the typical paint chips and dust on the floor, the house is completely bare. This is likely due to either the previous occupants moving all their possessions out when it was abandoned, or due to the home's impending demolishing. One room on the second floor, however, is completely filled with furniture and other junk. So much so Hill cannot even enter. Most of the video runs normally without incident. However, near the end is when this strange occurrence begins. After exploring the basement for a while, Hill is checking out a 2003 newspaper left on his shelf when, from behind, a bottle falls on its side without explanation. He decides to wait for a bit to see if there was something that could have made the bottle fall, but all of the bottles on the table are now perfectly still. He even walks right up to the table and his footsteps make no disturbances to what is on it. While he is inspecting the bottles, he hears what sounds like footsteps coming from in front of him, and an area blocked off by what appears to be storage for event tables. Unfortunately, the area is so dusty, it is impossible to tell if there are any orbs flying around, since they are obscured by the dust particles flying into the camera relentlessly. What can be determined is the sounds he is hearing are not made by him, as his footsteps are silent as he walks around the room. Figures the activity starts when he is in the basement. It also happens to be the most crowded part in the house. Aside from the aforementioned second floor room, the most compelling part of the video is when a chair, seen earlier facing to the right, suddenly bounces off what appears to be a wine rack to the left. Hill was not near the chair when it moved, and it is unlikely his steps disturbed it since he had walked closer to it earlier without any issues. When Hill shows the same clip but enhanced, it almost appears the chair is pushed against the rack and then lifted up before dropping again, not in the sense it is bounced off the rack, but as if it is actually picked up by hand. This is the last encounter Hill has during his visit, and he leaves the house soon after. What may be residing there is likely to be left unknown, with that house's impending deconstruction inching closer and closer. I've got a challenge for you. Since you've made it this far, why not like this video and hit subscribe in the next 5 seconds? Because I upload 4 new scary videos every week.